Hello, hello. Welcome to Leap Taken. Um, my name is Mika. This is Leap Taken. I don't know, I feel a little out of sorts today. So this is my witchy review today. So I don't think anybody's here yet, but I like to talk because people watch on a replay and after the fact. So I went to Sedona for a summer solstice retreat of my own doing. um, I have on Discord a sort of public, hi Gemstones, a public place. It's called Leap Taken Safe Place for Witches. On that Discord channel, I'm essentially encouraging kind of a safe place for witches. And I kind of operate like, an informal, almost like coven like situation. But I also have a coven that is more intimate. And we've been together it's been 2 years now. So we had our first in person, because we're also virtual, in person summer solstice retreat. Hi, Angel. And it was wonderful. And we went to Sedona. So we were in like a multi-million-dollar house, manifesting, in this large home, beautiful home, views. We were surrounded by the mountains that were known for having a vortex. So we were in that space. It was magical, mystical, healing, all of that sort of stuff. So I am going to go over the things that I brought back because, of course, I bought stuff while I was there. Hi, Empress Golf. Good afternoon. So this is just a free magazine I picked up at one of the stores. Yeah, this is like just there, the spirit of Sedona. So cool stuff like this. So I don't have. Well, first off, let me get into it because I'm wearing one of it. So this is a blue. I had to go back because I forgot. I kept saying blue again. It's actually called blue aventurine. Um, and all this, of course, is handmade. And it's got some weight too. It's not very heavy, but it does have some weight to it. It's not that light. So I've been wearing this in a purpose that stood out to me because it reinforces my intuition, me trusting in my intuition. So, and that was a big part of my summer solstice ritual work. That was a big part of it for me. So, yeah, once I saw this after we did our ritual, I went and I saw this at one of the stores and I had to purchase it. I only live 2 hours away. If I'm in the Phoenix area, so of Arizona, so it's not very far. So yeah. Another thing I picked up at one of the stores, this is called the Center for the New Age. Look at the bag, Center for the New Age. This is the name of the store. Home of Sedona's finest psychics. Um, Sedona is a magical place. It is. Just when you get there and when you're just driving around in the mountains, it's majestic. First off, you feel the energy. It's not one of those things. You know how people say, "Oh, you feel energy, you can feel it." No, you really can, and it's not something that you have to force. You can just feel it. I personally am so chill right now and relaxed. Like I feel like it just balanced everything. Believe in that vortex energy. People are not lying. I've experienced it. I know I've experienced it. Working magic within proximity to that type of energy, which is transforming. It can be like a portal, and I feel like my magic was not just out into the universe, but probably into the multiverse. That's how I think. But back to what I got. Chirloca or Laca Vanilla Rose. If you do anything, I wish there was smell-o-vision. Gentle floral aroma with vanilla. I have been looking for this. It's different packaging. I had this some years ago and I kept it. And I kept it for a while and I kind of spared. It's 14 cones in here. Incense. Let me tell you something. This is great for like self-love, spells, work, love magic, passion work. If you're doing something sex spell related, any sort of ritual where you maybe want to tap into feminine divine, that sort of stuff, this is the one. Vanilla Rose. It smells divine. It's beautiful, and I think that I love aromatherapy. I use that in my work. vanilla rose. Get this. That's all I can say. It smell. You can smell it through the package. It's like soap almost. It smells so good. So that's from, yeah, the Center for the New Age. And then, we got all these receipts in here. I also bought 4 quartz crystals. And I have mine, but it's just a simple quartz crystal from this same store. And it was part of the ritual. Each one, part of our ritual was each sister in the coven got one of these quartz crystals. We charged them together. And it's kind of like the definitive memento from, you know, our time together. And you can always use that energy that we all stored into it. So everyone has that. You have a little bit of my energy, my other sister's energy, and so forth. So that's what I got from the store. And then these earrings, I don't know if you could see, it's a dragonfly, which lately, the dragonfly, I've been hearing, like seeing different things, and I don't think it's by coincidence or accident. Forgive my nails. I've been away and I haven't retouched them. But I will be doing that before the end of the weekend. But look at these. Aren't these just pretty? These are handmade. Handmade. So it's like this light turquoise. I love these earrings. I love them. Aren't these pretty? I don't know if it's coming up well. And it's like, you know, that enamel. I love it. So I got this from the store. Now, funny thing about that store, the person working the register, I don't know if she was the owner, I don't know what her deal was, but she seemed to have a very dismissive attitude. Once we purchased items, I was shopping with someone else, and we didn't like her tone. It wasn't just me. And you know, it kind of, when you're at a metaphysical store, you know, crystal shop or whatever, when you're at a store like that and you're buying witchy items and things like that, the last thing you want is for someone to, you don't want to feel mistreated. You don't want to feel, mistreated, and you're spending money, and it's an energy exchange with this as well. So I'm going to cleanse these earrings first because she didn't make them. She's selling local artists jewelry, and that's not the artist's fault. That she, you know, is this person. I had already charged the crystals and did all that, so I felt good about that. But yeah. So let me get into my other purchases. I can't believe I don't have a whole lot. We exchanged gifts as a coven. So I have that stuff as well. All right, so there's that. And then check out these earrings. These were only 14 bucks. This is aquamarine earrings. See? So these are, it's my birthstone, by the way. Aren't these gorgeous? I love the way this looks like. Once I wear it, I don't know if that makes sense. I love the way this looks. And I love the way they catch the light at different points. That makes sense as well. So aquamarine, love these. And then I got a charm. So this is also more clear quartz, which kind of amplifies, you know, magnifies what you're doing. And it has that, like that family tree imagery. So this is going to be great for when I'm working with my ancestors. So I'm going to definitely charge this. This is the back. And from there, yeah, once I charge it, and I can swap out this too and wear this as well, because my intention is, once I charge it with my intentions and do some, for lack of better words, portal magic with my ancestors, so that like this sort of acts like that as well. So if I'm in a situation, I can, you know, have it on my necklace, you know, I can just sort of it's not always wanting something. I could send out a message of just gratitude, of love, or just say, hey, can you guys be with me right now? I'm going through something, or can you help me? But, or working spells or ritual work. This will be great for that. So I was really excited when I saw that, and the thought came to my head immediately, so I knew it was right. Then this is one of my favorite things that I the Sedona deck oracle cards. So, one of my sisters in the coven, she went to this store first. This is a different store. It's called, let's see, Peace Place. Yeah, Sedona, Arizona. Peace Place Gifts. They have a website. I was testing out a pen. They have a website. If you were interested, I would. This woman at this shop was beautiful. Had a beautiful spirit. She was really nice, and I really liked her. And I'm going to show you the cards. So, the Sedona Oracle card. So, one of my sisters, she picks it up, and I was like, was there enough for all of us? And she's like, yeah. So, this is the book that comes with it. So, first off, look at these cards. Very Sedona, Arizona. And more, ooh, yeah, the dragonfly. I assume that's like a dragonfly imagery, right? Yeah. So, these are beautiful. I'll just show you. It's not that many, so I can flip through them. So this would be the sun. I love the illustration. And you can see over in the corner, the author signed them. The sun, which is joy and healing. And then we had red rock, which is nurturing. And the red rock is because that's what it is red rock. The mountains and things like that. I'm just going to look for a picture somewhere. Are red. It is stunning in real life. That's all I got for you. Like, here's an ad, but you see how it's red? Yeah, that's what you're looking at. Red rock. And then rain, gifts, which I get. See, to me, these cards, first off, they connect. Night sky, hope and guidance. I love that. Desert spirit, love from creator. I think that it's simple but beautiful. Desert breeze, force. Bell rock. So, okay, so first, these cards that I just went through are not numbered. So they have a whole system here. And these are with numerical numbers. It's going to change up again. But this is bell rock possibilities. I actually looked at like a mountain like that. Like, that was so cool. There was one mountain that looked like, and that was one of the vortex mountains as well. And it looks like a castle, an actual castle. And I got to, for this past week during the summer solstice, that's what I've been doing. I've been out there having my morning coffee, looking at that. You know, as the sunset, I and set behind those mountains, I was looking at that. I've had a glorious week. Number 2 is Coyote Crazy Wisdom. Pretty simple drawing, but I think it's beautiful. Road Runner, Trust and Knowledge. Raven, Listen. Oh, and I saw red cardinals, like several. That was pretty cool while I was there. How often do you see red cardinals? I don't. So that was pretty cool. Quail, Follow Your Heart. Javelina, Choice. You know, this little thing, I was like, what is that? I didn't even know what it was. And I got one of my, a reading done by one of my sisters who got the card. So she pulled the card out. Or, you know, we all picked a card. And I pulled this card, Choice, and it fits so much in what I've been working on for myself. But I looked at the card and I didn't like the image. I was like, what is that? And I was like, it's like a wild pig or something. So my time there had been about a lot of choices. I had a choice on how I was going to behave, how I would respond to obstacles, how I would respond to adversity. And I chose well. I'll just say that. That's why I'm so peaceful now. I chose very well. So this deck definitely, yeah, it was a good thing that we all got this. So by the way, we all got one of these decks, so we'll be able to use them. But that card stood out. Then I started seeing this imagery in the because it's in the area, but I started seeing it like everywhere I went in restaurants. They would have a sign up or a picture, Javelina. Yeah, so it's Javelina. It's not, you don't pronounce the J, right? Not Javelina. Isn't it Javelina? I don't know. And then Lizard, the Unexpected. prickly pear diversity. Now, I got the chance to watch someone drink a prickly pear margarita, and they didn't know. One of my cousin sisters, she didn't know. She thought it was going to be more sweet, and I should have probably said it's kind of tart. I didn't know either when I moved here. I mean, they can make it kind of sweet, but prickly pear is one of my favorite margaritas. Prickly pear. Or like sometimes they'll make other drinks with it here in Arizona. It's common. I had never heard of prickly pear until I moved here. Juniper, stand strong. The tree, love that. Yucca, beauty elevates. These cards represent a calmness that I also love. And then a number 11, century plant, look upwards. Because if you're looking at the plane, you look up. Look upwards. Pinyon pine, patience. Mesquite, tenacious individuality. Love that. I just find these so soothing. The imagery, the use of color, everything is just so soothing looking to me. 14 is sage, heart's desires, manifesting. I don't know. This is giving me like practical magic vibes. Isn't this nice though? And then, okay, so now we're into the other cards. So this is visitor, tourist, or alien. Check this out. I love this. I love this card so much. Cathedral rock, strength and beauty, Roman numeral number 2, by the way. Boynton Canyon, viewpoints. Red Canyon, ancient and future energies. This card has a little bit more going on if you really look at it. And then Airport Mesa, masculine energy. This is obviously landscapes, right? Sugar loaf, allow love. My favorite one, coxcomb, changes. In case you think I'm, yeah, that one, changes. Thunder Mountain, let it bounce off. Oak Creek Canyon, almost done. It was only like 33 cards, I think. So it's not very many. So I figure I could go through them. Oak Creek Canyon, which is about moving to another level. Oak Creek, feminine energy and intuition. Running water, yeah. Mingus Mountains, indirect source. And we got San Francisco Peaks, sacred magic. I love this purple. I love this card. And then finally, something you don't see a lot of, blank, unexpected, unknown. A blank. Isn't that cool? So, the book that it comes with, there's no images. It's just the, a little bit more of a description about the cards. That's it. You can use this if you want to know more, but yeah. I mean, I thought the cards were pretty solid. I think you can intuit it from the images and just the words on there, but you can always, look at the book and learn a little bit more, right? So like that visitor card with the alien, tourist or alien, it says, look very closely. That person visiting, looking so closely at the rock formations, I wonder, where did they really come from? You will always see whatever it is you need to see, or do whatever it is you truly came to do. Circumstances may not be quite what they appeared to be. So that's what that means. It's kind of like the moon card, where things are kind of mysterious. Maybe things will reveal themselves, maybe not. But right now, everything is not, like, you don't have everything. You don't know everything about the situation of like that type card. So I thought I would do a quick reading. So I'm going to shuffle them up. I wanted to put them in order to make sure I had all the cards. This is kind of homemade, I think. Dylan. Hi, Dylan. Oh, I appreciate you for coming at all. Thank you. So we're going to read these cards. So I'm going to do one for myself, and then I'm going to do one for anyone watching this video. So I'll ask the same question to myself, which is, I don't know, based on everything that I've experienced this summer solstice or my summer retreat, what question should I ask? I didn't think about the question. Usually I let the cards tell me, so I'll say this. What is on the horizon? What positive thing, experience is on the horizon? What energy will that bring? Oh, a card is jumping out my hand, just so you know. So I'm going to stop there. And guess what card it was? I won't really know. Now that I've read that and I'm looking, I won't really know. I'm kind of just going to have to stay tuned on that. So that's the message. So the energy coming through based on all the rituals, spells, and things like that that I've done, what should I expect? And that's what I was thinking. And I just read over what, the author wrote about the card. Basically, we don't know. You don't know for sure yet. It's going to take some time to figure that out. So I'll take that as my answer. Yeah, it says circumstances may not be quite what they appear to be. So right now, I don't know what they appear to be. So I guess that's something I'll be mindful for. Let's pull a clarifying card. Right? Let's pull. What can I get a little bit more information? You never guessed the book I bought yesterday. Ooh, what'd you get? Was it something I've reviewed? 1, 2, 3. Oak Creek Canyon, moving to another level. Now, see, that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Moving to another level. Okay. What I'm getting from the visitor card and this Oak Creek Canyon card is the circumstances may not be all the way clear, but I'll be moving to another level. And what exactly? Well, we'll find out now, won't we? So I'm going to put these cards back, shuffle again, and collectively, can we get some more positive collective energy this summer? Is that something we can look forward to? Can we get maybe an idea of what it is? I'm really making it broad here. But I think we could all, there's just been wacky stuff happening. The ocean hates us. There's been other, hearings and political events that are just not being covered because of those billionaires and that floating sub thing. I can't. Yucca, beauty elevates. So that's the card based on what my answer. Beauty elevates. So what is beauty? Beauty can be just on the surface. It could be within inside. You can be, people say, oh, you have a beautiful soul, you're a beautiful person. And it elevates. So maybe that's something we can work on to bring in more positive energy as a collective. And then diversity, prickly pear. I think that's the acceptance of, I support the orcas, as you should. Exactly. That's the other thing. I saw a video of guys, he was surfing, and a dolphin just came up out the water and knocked him out. Yucca is pronounced yucca. Not yucca? Oh, yucca. I don't like saying it like that, yucca. I don't know. I like saying it my way, yucca. Yucca. Anyway, so prickly pear, diversity. And I think the acceptance of everyone's not going to be the same. We're all not going to be, hetero, white Christians. Everybody can't be that. Everybody can't be that. And everyone shouldn't want to be that. And we're not that. We all exist, You could, we'll just stick with that demographic. You don't have to be Christian. You don't have to be heterosexual. We're all different people. Let's have some diversity. I love the prickly pear, right? I was just talking about prickly pear margaritas. But Diversity. I'm going to pull one more card. Eh, The Visitor. The circumstance, I feel like the circumstances all may not be what it seems. There's a little bit of mystery involved. Basically, pay attention. You might miss it. Maybe, friend or foe type situation. That's the energy I'm getting from this card. So, um, it's really up to us as the collective to begin with. Beauty elevates. Let's remember that. Accepting diversity, one, exists. Two, being open to the fact that diversity isn't a bad thing. People with different views, different customs, cultures, spirituality, looks, piercings, shaved head, color, like tattoo, like we all are different. Is this deck Arizona inspired? Yes. So I'm talking about my trip to Sedona this week. I was there celebrating the summer solstice with my coven. We had a summer solstice retreat, and I purchased this deck at a local store. And I know they have a website if you wanted to buy it. It's called peaceplacegifts.com. So I got it at a local shop. Makes us better. Yes, diversity makes us better. So these are the Sedona deck and Oracle cards. So each of us in the coven, we all purchased one of the decks so that, we can always have that kind of as a connecting thing. And then the Visitor. This card, I'm getting like friend or foe energy, like be discerning. So we might be, some of us out here would like to be singing Kumbaya and being happy. But be mindful. Alien, tourist or alien, what are we working with here? What kind of energy? Who are the people bringing this energy that we're trying to connect with? But as a collective, I think we need to do better. Beauty elevates. I like that. He says yucca. How did you tell me to say it again? Let me look at that again. What'd you say? Yucca. Yeah, yucca. Yes, beauty elevates. Beauty from within can be very elevating. I love this card, by the way. Diversity and Visitor. Tourist or alien. So that's the collective energy. So I love this deck. If it doesn't appear, so I'm kind of in love with it. It's simple. It's just a few cards, but the times that we work with it as a group, and then now I'm loving the messages. I feel like you could read these cards very clearly. I like the size. Sometimes it's good to have like a big size deck like this, but it still fits in my hand okay. It's only 30, am I saying that? Yeah, 33 cards. Comes with a book, so I love this. And actually, so it's 13 power cards featuring red rock formations, 14 influences cards with plants and animals of the magical and sacred red rock area, and then 6 power cards includes different aspects of nature that affect our lives. And by the way, this is copyright 2012 by Kathleen Gabriel, based in Sedona, Arizona. Owl Feather Studio. The Visitor card is relevant to the UFO sightings that have been happening. Ooh, friend or foe. And I keep thinking friend or foe when I was saying that, like, are they here to help us? Okay, is anybody else kind of on, back to the kind of the ocean thing and aliens, like, people are looking for aliens everywhere, but like, they're in the sea. Like, that's where they are. And what we're calling aliens, I'm like, I have to get this deck. It's very, first of all, look at that. Isn't this pretty? I love the way it catches the light. Beautiful cards. I'm just reshuffling in case it comes to me to do another reading. But, the aliens are really in the ocean. I do believe that the sea creatures, the sea folk, are about done with us humans and our actions. My thing is, just like, between the cruise ships, which we know are just like going on cruises. I mean, I've been on a cruise before, but we know it's not great for the environment. It's not great for the ocean. The trash that we dump. And it's not just our country, it's the world having this issue. Um, the hunting of the sea animals and just a lack of respect. I have heard that aliens could be in the ocean. You know what? Leave it to humans, especially certain humans, to to them because, well, religious reasons. We're the top of the food chain. We're the best of the best. So if there's a another being that exists that's intelligent as us or more than us, it must be humanoid. That's how, you know. And it's like we don't even understand our own oceans. And I understand to understand them in the depths and what's all there, we'd have to go exploring. Except you have to be okay, I think, with not knowing, with being literally in the dark about that, because I don't think it's meant to be known. And I think when it's meant to be known, it might not be a good thing. Um, it may not be a good thing. Listen, people don't think about like primordial beings and the evolution of those beings that we're here at the depths of the oceans on Earth. And I'm like, why? Like, what did they evolve into? They don't need air. They don't need sunlight. Um, what did they like? I think about this, but at the same time, and like the scale and size of these beings. You know, we talk about dragons. Like, what if there's is there like an ocean? Like, I'm trying to think this out. What I know, like something dragon-esque that's in the ocean. At this point, I would hope extraterrestrials just come on down. I mean, how much worse can it? You know what? At this point, this is my answer to everything. Every time I hear something, like you'll see, you know, social media like TikTok, Instagram, stuff like that, or even YouTube, people will say, look, this is really happening. You know, they said there was a sighting and there was this happen. And my thing is this: unless y'all telling us not to go to work the next day, what do you want me to do? It's not, unless it stops the like capitalism in its tracks. I don't know. It would have to stop. We live in a world though, in this country, honestly. What was that movie, Don't Look Up? The people in that movie, like, life was still going on. People were still going to work. They were still, you know, TV was still happening. And, like, you know, Earth was going to be destroyed, but life was still going on. I do believe that that's how it would be. I think there's a type of water dragon, like a worm. Yeah, right? Jim Cells, thank you. Like, what if it's that? You know, we talk about the Kraken and, you know, all these other. I'm like, part of me wonders if why couldn't they be real? The sailors of long ago time, hundreds of years ago, and they would log their accounts on the ocean. And just like they talked about seeing mermaids, mer people. People, you know, we discount that. I mean, but we also don't. And then you had like people who were cruel and they would like shoot and they would display. There were things on display back in the day, like a dead mermaid or something like that. I remember hearing about that, and it would like be like a traveling circus or something. And it was cruel and it wasn't awesome, but I don't think that was made up. But unfortunately, like a lot of beings, you know, we have people in this world who just hunt and kill this desire. Like, what is that really about? With like people who have this desire, like there are groups of people, typically men, unfortunately, who want to hunt and kill. Like, it's just something like, oh, that's a place that never existed, and those people, they've never talked to anybody before. I must go interact with them. I must look at their resources and see if I could take them. And if they won't let me have them, I must, you know, violently take it from them and enslave them. Like, what's that about? And Dylan said, I mean, it could get extremely worse. It really could. It really could. The Kraken could have been the giant octopus. Exactly. I've heard of the mermaid, but it was proven scientifically to be fake. Possibly. I mean, they were con artists. Some of those carny folk. Yeah, I agree. But what about all those sailor accounts and their logs and things like that? Some of them would write about seeing. And of course, you know what? It could be a lot of things. It could have just been a trick of the eye, but I don't know. I think there are things out, people who work out in the middle, like if, Navy, people like that, you see things you're not supposed to see. People tell you it's something else. But that's like people who are in the military who talk about how they've seen things in the sky, Air Force specifically, and, you know, they just call it UFO, but it doesn't make any sense. Like, what is it? It's not a human, it's not an aircraft being manned by human. It doesn't appear to be a drone in the way that we know and, conceptually, how it would be created, and it moves in a way that a drone wouldn't, or any other aircraft that humans make. So what is it? Excuse me, I meant giant squid. Got you. That makes more sense. A giant squid. Which, by the way, when we hear that now, oh yeah, giant squid exists, but it's like, well, when you say giant, how giant? Because if you saw something much, much larger than anything's ever been recorded, you would think it was a sea monster. I would. You call it what you want. You call it giant squid. If this is bigger than like a building or something like that, like a block long, could you imagine? And in the ocean, things like that, it can exist. I mean, we have huge wreckages. Think of over the time that man has been in the seas, all the wrecks, all the sunk ships, and it doesn't make a dent. It doesn't make a dent on the ocean floor. And obviously the ocean floor isn't leveled across the whole earth, so there's other depths that we don't even know about. I just think, why, I'm going to talk about these people, these billionaires. Take everything, the fact that they're billionaires out. Like, I wouldn't want to go through the wreckage of a place where something traumatic happened and there was death and it was scary. Like the fear, and I've been on a cruise. So I'll just put it to you like this. Of course, when you go on a cruise, you try not to think about it too much, but like, what if this thing ran into something? I mean, I was going to the Caribbean on mine. I was going to the Bahamas, so I know I was going to hit, a big block of ice or anything. But what if something else, like, you think like that for a split second? You can't think like that for too long or you won't enjoy yourself. But yeah, what if, and what are you going to do? You hope you remember what they told you during that safety session when you first got on the ship. But in real time, I don't know. It would be terrifying. I wouldn't want to go to, that's like 9/11, the Twin Towers, or any of the other locations where the crashes occurred. The crash site. Do you want to, I know there's some people who like to do that. I don't like that. I don't think that's okay. But you know what? Now that I think about it, we do have an issue in our society with people. It's beyond just being morbid. I feel like it's disrespectful. What are you doing? Why do you want to go someplace? But these people were doing it. They were going because they just wanted to, see and look and forage. And I don't know. I don't like that. I think something like that is disrespectful. This sub reminded me of them creating Titanic 2, and everyone on the internet was like, did we not learn the first time? It does seem like that. One, just the energy around it, what happened, and you were en route, like, don't you think you kind of are in, but you know what? Only those of us who believe in energy exchange, who understand that, maybe we get it, maybe the billionaires don't get it. The giant squid is 43 feet long. Wow. That would be enough to scare me. That would be enough to scare me. The ocean, I wouldn't say I'm afraid. It's more like, I have like serious respect for it. It's powerful. But my love of the ocean, it's, of course, is tied to the moon. The tides is tied to myself as a woman, born woman, I should say. Yeah, that's what it's tied to, because I think of my menses, I think of all women, I think of all that type of energy when I think about ocean, when I think about it from a spiritual perspective. And just like the ocean, there's calmness, you can be baptized, you can be cleansed in the ocean. but the ocean can take you out. The ocean can suck you in and not let you go. And eventually spit you out. So, or it can still spit you out. It will let you float on it and use it as a means of travel. But it's powerful. You should never forget it. And that's how I feel about myself, about women. We can be, at peace, calm, but even if you see calm, you have no idea what's going on underneath. You don't know what's under the surface. And that's how I see women. Sometimes some things are better left alone. Exactly, Empress Golf. And I feel like some humans, especially those with money, don't get that. They don't get that maybe we should just leave things alone. Oh my gosh. I hope everyone had a beautiful summer solstice. Even if you didn't do anything fancy. By the way, that was the official day of summer, but we're in summer season. So what I'm doing, my commitment, is to spend this season sort of tapping into fun. I would say like tapping into my inner child, but it's more than that. It's not for me anyway. It's not just about tapping into my inner child. It's more like the new version of me, the very adult version. Well, what's fun for her? Some things I did is, it could be, I guess, childlike. So using some of that energy, but fun for me, it could be any exploring, like making this trip up to Sedona. I've been wanting to go for so long. And I finally got to go there, and I was like a big girl, and I drove by myself up there, and there was a whole thing. I'm going to get to that in a second. As a person who works with Poseidon, I love the sea, but yet I still have fear of it, as you should, because of it. It is the sea. It's dangerous. I can recognize the divine in the sea, but I can see the dangers of it. Sacred play. Yeah. Sacred play. I love that, gemstones, by the way. Yes, I have reverence for the sea. I mean, honestly, if you just spend time, if you in person, but if not, you can watch video too, but in person, just standing there and watching the waves, watch the tide come and go, and you just see it like over the course of a few days or so, and just watch it, and just be like, holy crap, like this is, it really just take a look at what your eyes can see, and you realize just the majesty, kind of like what I felt with the mountains I was in. It's like, this is just, it's, you know what? When I went up to Sedona, as you drive up, the mountains get bigger. I'm down near Phoenix, near Arizona. So you're driving up, it's so beautiful. And, it's not big city anymore. It's, you see a lot more land and things like that. And as I was driving, whatever fears I had or anxiety around the road trip, because I don't really do a lot of road trips by myself, it was just going away. I was preoccupied in that same feeling I get when I think about the ocean and how it's so large and so vast, and whatever, not that my feelings aren't valid, but those feelings of anxiety and any sort of stress, I know it's so insignificant compared to what's right in front of me. And it's like a reminder, be in the now, be present. That's what I felt I feel that when I go to the ocean, and that's what I feel in the mountains. Oh, you did quite a few things for the summer solstice. If it's all right with you, can I send you some pictures of the garment I made myself for the summer solstice through IG? Yeah, you can. Yes, please, you can. I'd be happy to look at that. Sure. Leave taken, if you're wondering, on Instagram. Leave taken there. My official email, if you go to the website, I'm pretty sure I have a link there too at leaptaken.com. It's mika@leaptaken.com. If y'all didn't know, you can reach me if you got questions. I know some people will shoot me an email first or send me a message if they want, have questions about services, what I offer, if we're right fit. They'll email me first. So if you ever had any questions on, hey, does this make sense for what you do? Would you be able to help me with this? Shoot me an email and we can, talk about it and then see what makes sense or not, or if I can recommend something else. But yeah, I will be looking forward to that. So I tell you, it's just been When I got back, my daughter was like, "You seem so peaceful. Like you seem so at peace." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm like so chill. It's good." And what my plan is to get up there soon. I actually want to go up to Flagstaff. I've been to Prescott, right? Yeah, I've been to Prescott. I'm gonna say Prescott. Is it Prescott or Prescott? I've heard people say that two different ways. Prescott. I'm thinking Prescott. I don't know, but I want to go there again. I've been there once. And I want to do Flagstaff as well. I do really not like the new age people that are all love and light about the ocean, the great mother, blah, blah. Have a great time drowning due to not having a respectful fear of it. Yeah, I think we are watching that play out. I think that the ocean is like, they're in a real mess around and find out mode right now. I'm not going to mess with them. Let me tell you something. With the way this, even if I had booked a trip to go on a cruise, I would try to change it. I would just incur the cost. I would not want to go right now. I just don't think this is a good time to go out in open waters. I just think it's something's going on. And here's the thing, since it's happening across all over the world, Prescott. Thank you. Remember, I'm not from here. I don't know. I just, I pick it up as I go. But what was I saying? Now I'm stuck on how to say this word. But the ocean, yeah, I wouldn't take a trip. I wouldn't go anywhere in the open seas. I feel like there's an overall message because it's happening worldwide. I think there's a message that we need to take from this. Like, okay, and also that was the other thing, intelligent life. If we could take it out of our minds that if you're humanoid, that's the only way intelligent life would appear. Like, we know that dolphins are really smart and not very nice creatures, by the way. Like Scott. Oh, like you pronounce it with Scott. So Prescott. Okay, got it. Prescott. So I want to go back up there. By the way, it's great for looking at the night sky. They don't have as much light pollution. So you see all the stars. It's been a long time since I've been able to look up in the night sky, not have any light pollution. So I got to experience that. And I know that Flagstaff actually is #1 for that. And they call that in Sedona a dark sky community. When I first saw that sign as I was driving in and I saw a sign that said, "We are a dark sky community," I was like, is that like a cult? Like, what is it? No, they just simply mean the Airbnb that we were in, which was gorgeous. The Airbnb that we were in was, they had signs saying, make sure to turn the lights off at night because we're a dark sky community. So that's a thing in Sedona. Little did I know. But I'm going to recap what I got. So again, I bought crystals when I was there, except I gave them out as a gift. So I don't have them. I have mine, but it's just a tumbled, crystal. It was the smooth kind. They had selenite, chunks of it too. I didn't purchase it this time, and it wasn't even expensive. Like a chunk about, I want to say about almost this big, you can hold in your hand like this. One of my sisters, I think she got it for I think she said it was like $30. And it was like something you would hold like this large, a big chunk of it. So I thought that was a good price. So I will have to go back up there and get some. We are lucky that there aren't any whales that are 200 plus feet long because the orcas would befriend them to tip over cruise ships. Well, let's not test this out, because if they all get together, if they really are communicating, if what we thought we believed is wrong and something has changed, they may team up and flip the cruise ships. I don't want that to happen. Holy crap, $30 is still exactly, like I said, it was about like this size. Selenite, and that thing, yeah, that was at the Peace Place Gifts. That's where, and they were outside. Like, first of all, we walk up into this shop. It's like all these outside items, crystals and things like that. One was like an amethyst butterfly. It was huge. It was about the size of the back of this chair. Beautiful. Oh, that was expensive. Um, but then, yeah, you can purchase the other chunks of selenite and things like that. So if you want to know, if you want to take a road trip, Dylan, because I know you're in Arizona, if you want to take a road trip, go on up to Sedona. But I could do it as a day trip if I left very early, and could make a day out of it. I don't have to always stay over. It's 2 hours, so I could drive up. I thought about it. I was like, I'll kind of plot out. I want to do some tours, so I would do that, and then yeah, and have lunch, go shopping, get some more crystals, more turquoise jewelry. These earrings are so cute. I don't know why I put them back in the bag. Turquoise jewelry. I don't know why I'm struggling with the words. Buy these things. Look at the dragonfly. I love these so much. I really do. I love my quartz necklace. That's the back quartz, and then with the tree of life. I'm calling it family tree of life on here. I love that. This is going to be something I use to connect with my ancestors, like a talisman. And then my birthstone aquamarine earrings. I think these are so cute. I hope it doesn't snag my hair when I wear it. Oh gosh. Yes, road trip. Exactly. If you come to the UK, first of all, let me tell you something about that. The fact that we manifested this, okay, I want to talk about this. Yes, gemstones, I will find you. I will find you. I'm not even just saying that. I would seriously come find you. I'm like, I'm here. Where are you? About manifesting things into existence. So sometimes, I know I'm one of those people. The biggest question is, well, when is it going to happen? I've been working toward it. When? And it's hard not to do that. And it's hard, especially as time goes on. You're like, okay, well, when is it going to happen? I'm trying to make this thing happen. But as a group in a coven, it gets even more interesting when you're doing that. Because we all owe it to each other to just stay in kind of this aligned with it's going to come, and not keep questioning. What you have to be aware of are opportunities so that it can happen. A lot of times we miss or ignore opportunities because it might scare us, or it might seem too big. And when we are manifesting something, like for us, this summer solstice retreat, we had to be very careful about not thinking like something was too big to be done. So our next trip, we want to do something even larger, is where I'm going with this, and then eventually larger. And that makes me think personally as well. I want to go to Ireland, and I also want to go to Scotland. And yes, I also, once I'm over there, I'll head on over to the UK as well. Head on over to specifically London. I want to go there. Let me be clear. So I'm like, that's not that difficult for me to do. Like that, it seems like, oh, that's a lot. How, I have to save, and I got to do this. I already have a passport, but I have to do all this stuff. I'm thinking, like, how much are the tickets, and where would I stay? And I'd have to research companies and tours and all this sort of stuff. And I'm like, it can seem too big. And this trip, we had to be aligned to not think this would be too big for us. I Googled, or Zillow, actually I checked on Zillow, the address of where we stayed. And I haven't even told them that the place is worth over $2 million. It's the views alone is a $2 million view, but it's over $2 million. This Airbnb that we stayed in, none of us saw that. The series of events that occurred that even made it possible that we were able to go was tons of generosity from one of our coven sisters. And some of us, it's not very easy to travel. And a way was just made. Things just started falling into place, but we had to pay attention to know that this thing had everything to do with that trip. You have to just think it out. You have to look kind of big picture it. You have to kind of be in a place of it's already receiving and believing that every new thing that comes along, any opportunity, it might not seem very significant. It may be very much a part of this big thing you're trying to manifest. So to put it more into an example, I know for myself, trying to negotiate and figure out like time off and things like that from my corporate day job that I'm working. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? Because oh, by the way, spoiler, I use up all my time. I'm the type of person, if the energies don't align, I'm not going to work. That's me. And I'm not just saying that, like, I really am like that. Like, I feel a little off balance. I can't do this. I can't do this because I won't be authentic. I'm not going to come in there. I'm not going to be able to offer the correct information. I truly feel this and I won't go. That's a legitimate sick day to me. What's causing it? I'll get to the root of it on my day off, but I'm that type of person. So here I sat with most of my time halfway through the year used up. And I talked to my manager about this, and the conversation I had with him, he thought about what I was saying. He's like, I got another solution, and it worked out. But me being very open about it, I was taking this trip regardless, but I wasn't being contrary to him or anything like that. It was still just a dialogue we were having. I know I was leaving. I wasn't going to be there anyway, but we were just talking about it. And but me being open and willing to hear, what he had to say, even though I knew where I was going, but I appeared to be like there was an exchange, like we were dialoguing about it. Being that way, I think that was my opportunity, because he thought of something I hadn't thought of, which worked out even better with the whole time off situation. So that's like an example. And that was happening like right before I left, like the day before I left. No, the day of, because I went to work now. I worked a little bit in that morning. We had that conversation that day about the rest of the days for the week. And I'm glad I was open because, one, it reinforces my working relationship with this person, which is good for when I want to leave this department, when I want to move on. I've already moved up once. I'm a witch. I work magic. I'm not going to say one position. I've been moving since I've been here. I got into a senior level position as well at this job that I'm at. So yeah, those conversations are important. So I'm doing a couple different things. I'm helping with some other spell work that I'm doing where, I can move up in the company. And it's funny because I have that upward movement card. And then maybe that'll happen during the summer. And then yes, it will happen this summer. And then, of course, for my trip, that was less stress, less anxiety. I didn't have to worry about, this other stuff. And I can just go and be witchy. So that was super helpful. But it was all about my attitude and how I looked at everything. Mental alchemy. That's interesting, to take new opportunities that come along because they may lead to your dream. I like that. Yeah, right? You have to, and that's how you gauge, did this ritual really work? Is this spell really working? Look at those little opportunities. I'll give one I think a lot of people probably understand. You say you want to meet new people. You say, whether it's romantic or friends, you want to be around new people. You keep saying it. You tell, I never meet anybody new. It's like, I just hang around with the same people. I want to be around open-minded people or person or whatever. But you're always hanging around the same people. You did a spell, to sort of open your horizons, give you an opportunity to meet new people. But there are things like, let's say you're at work and it's like, hey, yeah, we got this volunteer opportunity. We'll give you the day off. We'll pay you if ever, you want to go volunteer over here and help these people do this. And you ignore it because you didn't feel like doing it. Not because you don't want to volunteer, but you just, yeah. Thank you, Dylan, by the way. Thank you. But you ignore it. Something simple like that. And you're thinking, well, what does that have to do with anything? Well, that could have been an opportunity for you to meet the other people that are volunteering. But you don't get to you miss that opportunity. Now, sometimes the universe recognizes, I believe that some of us are stubborn and a little slow to it. We didn't catch it. So they might throw us another opportunity. That might be virtual. Maybe you were thinking in person, but you didn't clarify when you did the spell. And your opportunity might be a Facebook group. It might be going to my Discord channel, Leap Taking Safe Place for Witches. I don't know, and a chance for you to meet new people. But you don't go. You say you're going to click, or you never really go and you don't interact. So you never get to meet anybody witchy. You never get to meet open-minded people or like-minded people. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You could be having those missed opportunities. I know a lot of us say, oh, I wish I had more witchy friends, people I could do spells with and rituals. That'd be great. you can also make that. You can also take an opportunity to build your own community as well. Maybe what meetup.com still exists, put some feelers out, set up a group and see if people come hang out with you. Granted, you might get some people maybe they're not quite like-minded, but they're open-minded. But don't discount them as long as they're not dangerous to themselves or you. Don't discount the people like that. They can be very interesting people to be around. So be open to the ones who seem a little too wild, a little too much. They might, help you be more and learn how to express yourself unapologetically like they might be doing. But yeah, look for those opportunities. It may not present clean and direct the way you think it would because you did the spell and you're working on manifesting. I think about this all the time because I would always question, did that spell really work? I did videos on this because this was a real thing. I was like, it kind of seemed like it worked. Like money spells, good. I need $1,000, but you did get $1,000, but it didn't come at one time. You got, a bonus that was 500, and then I don't know where you are, but like with the utility companies, the electric company, if after a year, if you didn't use if you had to put a deposit down or something, they end up giving you some of the money back. And let's say that was $500. Or I know some people have like home rebates, things like that, the state that you're in, and you get that back, and you got that over the course of like weeks, but it wasn't all at once. I'm just thinking of like practical ways you might get this money and you didn't know they were coming, but there you go. But you got your $1,000. For the witch who is expecting someone to have just sent them $1,000, most people think that they think either they win it, they find it, or someone just gives it to them, this person, and if you get locked into that, that can throw you off because you miss the opportunities that were right there. And if you miss the opportunities and the spell did work, like in this example I just gave about money, like you got a check here, you got a check there, you're not in a place of gratitude. You got to be careful when you do other spells and you feel like it doesn't work, especially for those of us who did money spells one after another. You're like, I don't understand. Like, I'm getting some money, but I'm not getting enough. But look how you're talking to the universe. It's not enough. It's not enough. It's not enough, and you're not in a place of gratitude. You're not really aligned with what you're saying you're aligned with. I'm just saying. But it takes, and it's not to beat yourself up or to say you did something wrong. It's more like, what am I missing? What else? What am I not seeing? And kind of stepping back and look at everything. What am I thinking? Maybe that money does count, or maybe meeting that person was an opportunity. The coworker that keeps asking you to come out for lunch and you never go out with them. You don't have anything against them. Your default is no, but you're saying you want to meet people. That was your opportunity. Oh, Dylan says, I'm getting at least $200 for helping my dad fill his fish tanks and to help him take down one of his fish tanks. First of all, that's a big job, so good for you. Yes, $200, nice. That happened to my husband, someone he spoke to who was a friend of a relative, was moved by what he said, and then a month later sent him £1,000. So it's pounds, yeah, unexpectedly. Awesome. It's one of those moments, like, it doesn't have to, but if you are stuck on the how when you're doing spell work as witches, we are dealing with like universal law. We're dealing with the wills of other beings. It's not just the humans, but we'll just say beings. If you're bringing in any sort of spirit, deity, ancestors as well, you have that to contend with. So what we see right now, it looks like, just the items in front of us, but everything's vibrating. There's a frequency to everything, right? Vibrations. So nothing is really still, but to our eyes, everything just looks solid. And I'm bringing that up because when you're casting spells and you're doing ritual work, basically, anytime you're doing energy work, where you're either sending something out, or you're trying to draw something in, the level of control that you have is just that what you speak, what you feel, what you're aligned with. That's where the control is. You can't truly control someone else. Contrary to what some people I heard gonna try to sell you on, you really can't control someone else's spirit, someone else's mind. You can manipulate their mind and possibly their spirit. There can be manipulation, don't get me wrong. But control, absolute control, for how long? Long enough for them to make a decision to let you do something, or I don't know. It depends. And it takes a lot of practice to get to that point, I would imagine, to control. I don't want that information readily available. We don't need any people, anybody controlling other humans mentally. We don't need that. We don't need to discover that. I think that's something we don't need. But we can, yes, we know we can manipulate, though. But once you're in that space and you've casted the spell, you've worked the magic, just be open at that point. All your job is to be aligned to the intention that you tied to that ritual, to that work, to that spell. That's what you have control over. That's what you can do. You really have to divorce yourself with the how. That is hard because you start imagining how you'll get the money. Now, what if you really struggle with that? Here's what I will tell you. Imagine seeing the money in your bank account. Imagine seeing a deposit. Don't worry about how it was deposited. Just imagine seeing the number. Maybe make that number even bigger because there was already money there. See that. Maybe that'll help as opposed to worrying about how. Just see the money, $1,000. You see that 1,000, you see 1,050 sitting in your account. In that account, you see it just pop in and it's in green. See that. Try not to worry. Whenever you feel tempted to think about how am I going to get it? I wonder if I'm going to get it should I play the lottery? Is that how I'm going to get it? That would be me, by the way. I used to do that. Should I go to the casino? Is that how I'm going to get it? I'm not a big gambler, so that's not good for me to stay in alignment because let me tell you something. If I do not win, I am pissed. This includes lottery. This includes a slot machine, a card game. I don't care what it is. If I don't win, I am done. I'm not a good person with that. I'm getting a phone call. I'm about to be done anyway here. But yeah, that's my little tip about manifesting, about spell work and all that. If you struggle with that how, try to release some of that. Do a spell to release that. You're questioning on how I'm going to get something. How is it going to work? How are they going to come to me? How am I going to meet this person? How am I going to get this money? No, just picture the result. Yeah, it is a big job. We have 8 fish tanks. The smallest is like 10 gallons. Woo! And the biggest is like 100 or something. The one we're taking apart is one of the big ones. I do have to cast a saving spell in order to see the $1,000 because I have to. I love to shop. Well, then that's another thing. There's a spell for that. There's a spell for that. It's funny I'm talking about spells so much. My video that's going to be coming up this week, I did a spell. And I did it before I left for my trip. And I'm going to sort of talk, and I find that very interesting because of the series of events that happened on the trip. So I'll just tell this story and I'm going to wrap up. So, lovely summer solstice retreat. Loved spending time with my coven. It was awesome. The magic was epic. We felt the energies of the vortex on the various mountains. We did our magic outside. That was freaking awesome. So, I went to go do a little shopping, got in my car, and I had a flat tire. This is once I was already there. I had been there for like 3 days at that point. And the first time I got in my car. So I was like, oh, that was a bummer. So, you know what? Pulled up to the gas station. Sedona is a small town, by the way. It's not like a big place at all, big city or anything. So it's the gas station. And, I was like, hey, I just asked nicely, can I get some help? I got a flat tire and I have a spare, but I don't know how to do it. And I don't know how to change a tire. Maybe I could learn, but I didn't. I wasn't going to learn in the middle of the afternoon on how to do it. So someone came, they did it, no charge, helped me out. Awesome. I thanked them profusely and went on my merry way with my spare. So then I did ask, hey, do you know where I can get a new tire? And they said, oh yeah, you can just, go down the road to the tire place here. It's one tire place in the whole town. The next tire place was 20 miles away. I'm going to save y'all this long story and just know that's on Thursday. So they didn't have my tire in stock. I would find out this week that I have specialty tires, expensive, and they're really good tires apparently, and they're not standard. So, and I have an SUV. So, and they're made specific for like highway driving and all that sort of stuff. So I was like, cool. He said, but I can get it tomorrow. Okay, I was going to be there the next day, so cool. Listening to honoring my intuition, which was a big part of my takeaway from the summer solstice ritual that we performed, was learning to better honor myself, my higher self, and my intuition. And how do you honor your intuition? By actually heeding it and not second guessing and questioning and sort of not even over analyzing it. Go with what you feel is right. Trust your choices and your decisions. So it was 11:11 that next day. He, by the way, had told me, oh, the delivery truck doesn't come in bougie tires. Exactly. He told me, oh, the truck doesn't come in. By the way, it was punctured. There was a nail in it and something literally punctured the tire. It already had went through, so it was a hole in the tire. So they tried to repair it and they couldn't. And he was like, well, the truck comes in the afternoon. And I was like, that's fine. I can be up in this beautiful place for several hours longer than I had planned. No problem. But he said like late after, like 2:00. So I called it 11:11 because I looked down at my phone. I saw it was 11:11 and like the thought form popped in, call them, see if everything's on schedule. Glad I listened. That was my opportunity to honor what the spell that I cast and to honor that it was really working and my intuition and to like be aligned. So I listened and I called, and guess what? The tire wasn't coming. There was no tire to be had. And then he called me back. He told me he would check into this a little bit more. It's not going to be on a delivery truck because there was an issue with the delivery truck. So it wouldn't be there till the next day. I wasn't going to be there until the next day. That would be today, by the way. So I said, okay, cool. How about this? Are there any other, because they're a chain. And he checked and he called me back and said, basically, I called several places. They don't have that tire in stock. So I was like, all right. So at no point did I get rattled. And let me tell you that the power of being there, doing ritual, doing all that, this summer, we're coming, new moon energy still isn't in existence. And I don't know, there's been a shift this week for me, like a major spiritual shift. So I just feel more balanced. And I never got ruffled by any of this. Like, I don't even want to say, oh, was I annoyed? It was more like, well, that didn't work, so let's see what else we're going to do. That was literally how I was thinking, okay, well, what else can we do? So I ended up having to get my car towed home. And that was my decision because I didn't even know. First of all, it was confirmed more than once, and so I didn't have to question. The fifth place I called, by the way, I was calling people on my own at that point in the other further than 20 miles out to see, like, basically as I headed further down closer to Phoenix, any place in between to see if they could, have this tire. And they did not. I called dealerships and tire places and, repair shop. They did not have my tire. So at this point, the tow guy's there. He even tried to help me and recommended some places. He said, I'm not supposed to, but, I'm trying to help you avoid, this tow bill, because it was relatively kind of expensive to tow that far. But that was my decision. And I kind of had made up my mind. The car is going to be towed. That's the end of it. And and he was still suggesting, I was like, you know what? Let's just go ahead and get the car going. Because I wanted to enjoy what was left of my visit. And I went, got something. My other sister stayed to help me. And we went and got something to eat. Had a pleasant drive in her rental. took her back down to Phoenix, and she went on and she had a more enjoyable evening. And then I had it when I got in my home. I was happy to be home. I wasn't stressed. I stayed, like, when I cast that spell, well, several spells, Tuesday before I left, Wednesday for the summer solstice as well. And then again, it's a retreat of witches. We did a lot of magic. A lot, there was sort of a central theme for my personal work that I did, and this is part of it, to bring this balanced energy. I'm my best when I'm balanced, when I'm not working under duress, when I'm not in fight or flight mode. I'm not worrying about something all the time, or it's not in the back of my head, money, or people, or a situation, work, and all that sort of stuff. When I'm just balanced, I wouldn't even say neutral, just this is overall balance. Things are happening around me, but I'm in a aligned space of what I know, how my true self and how I really want to be. And I'm confident in my choices. If I don't like my options, also no choice is an option. Whatever that looks like. And I'm willing to deal with any consequence that comes out of it. I'm a big girl. I can handle it. Those were my decisions. And that's kind of my attitude has been this week. And the universe has provided opportunities for me to display that and to really be true to what I said I wanted. And I believe I passed with flying colors. And I did it with little effort. I truly believe that every step of the way with this tire thing, which is not a huge thing in a grand scheme of things, but it's the unknown. I didn't know I had an expensive tire. I didn't know that. I didn't know that the tire was going to go flat. I didn't know that they didn't have this tire anywhere nearby. And I didn't know it was going to cost quite as much as it did to tow a car. What I thought it cost, it was the double amount. I'll just say that. So instead, I focused on gratitude. When you're traveling, like from Phoenix area to Sedona, like you're going up, like it's 4,500 feet elevation. If that tire had bust, that would have been catastrophic. That could have been the end of me. Or coming back, So that right there, I was very grateful. I'm grateful that I was in a position where I had access and resources so that everything can play out. I had the roadside assistance. I had the funds to pay the additional amount, because roadside assistance that I pay for, they will pay for it, but they only pay up to a certain number of miles. I'm going, a 2-hour drive. That's a lot more miles, like 100 and something miles. So they were only going to do 20 miles. So I had to pay for the rest out of pocket. I'm grateful I had the access to the funds to do that. I was grateful already. I'm thinking I could replace the tire. I was grateful I was in a position I had the money. By the way, the tow was much more than a tire. I would have preferred that, but here we are. But I'm grateful that I could replace and the money can be replenished and that I'm all right. And that's all I was thinking. And by the way, when all this is happening, I'm sitting on the front porch of this over $2 million house. I'm looking at these mountains, these red rocks coming out of the earth it looks like a castle. And I'm talking on the phone, and all this is happening amongst this. And it was hard to really be upset because I was in such a place of gratitude and of awe, still looking at just the majesty all around me. And with all that earth energy, I felt so grounded. It wasn't without it. It didn't take a lot of effort to be calm, is my point. Other people noticed it as well. My sisters noticed it. It was like, you seem real, like you're not like annoyed. And I was like, I can't even say I'm annoyed. I just felt like, things are going to happen. I'm too busy being grateful that I'm alive. I wasn't in an accident. I wasn't stuck in a position where I'm on the side of the road. There's too many good things to be grateful about. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. That was kind of unfortunate, but it's still an opportunity to me, and that's how I'm looking at it. You said that's amazing. Yeah, the whole trip has been amazing. And my takeaways, I feel very balanced. I want to say I feel more like myself, but better. Better. I feel powerful and more focused. I wouldn't not focus like, oh, I'm more productive and all that sort of stuff. Not focused like just being very deliberate and intentional about the next thing I do, the moves that I make in like business, all leap taking business, corporate world business, everything. Like I feel very confident about my actions and what I would like to do. And I'm also starting to think a little bit more broader about some other things that once you take the cloud of indecision, fear, doubts out of the way, once that's gone and you feel more aligned and balanced, you can start to think broader. You can think bigger. And like this trip itself was my takeaway. This happened. We made this possible. We witches made me manifested this whole thing. I had visions of a countertop with food and it's, fruits and lush desserts and food, just food in plentiful abundance, like this, just laid out. And we had that. We had a caterer, so that was possible. um, that was that was in my mind's eye, and that happened. And each one of us kind of had our own visions and ideas about, and we saw that happen. So anyway, I've had a wonderful summer solstice. It's been beautiful, and hopefully it reflects in more of the videos that I do as well, because I feel I feel good. I feel very good. I'm very relaxed right now, but balance would be the right word. And when I know if I start to feel any imbalance, I brought some things back to help with that. And also I will just drive up there if I have to and have that experience, kind of like I used to do the ocean, go out there, lay my burdens and recharge. And with that, I will wrap up. Thank y'all for coming and participating and talking to me. These cards, I don't know if they're sold online, but I think these cards are everything. I would suggest getting 33, but I love the meanings. They seem simple, but I don't know, something powerful coming off of these cards as well. All right, so thank y'all. I'm going to get out of here and go on with the rest of my day. And by the way, I still haven't gotten a tire fix. I didn't feel like it. So I still have to get the tire fixed, but I have a spare on it, so I'll be able to just drive it over. And it's still a matter of ordering the tire. But I trust that's going to work out too. All right, bye. Bye. Thanks, Gemstones. Bye.